They tell you to guard a heart, but who's guarding yours? Who's tending to your flowers while you're trying to make another's garden yours? You were patient at your post. You thought she would let the guard indoors. Unfortunately, her family didn't end up being your in-laws. You were blind to the red flags and deaf to the ringing alarm indoors. You remained guarding another's gates when you should have been arming yours. But you were too busy maintaining her fire because she was slightly sparking yours. Unfortunately, she abandoned your flame, citing your previously pardoned flaws. You were guarding her reservoir, caring not if she was harming yours. Now you're left in the grim cold with neither Billy nor Mandy, alone you're charging shores. You were tending to her flowers, yet she took another on a garden tour. She told him no one else tended to it. The same deception that ended up charming yours. Now your once soft heart has been hardened more, so you look for that familiar warmth you'll roll now an ardent whore. You'll never waste time on flowers again, screw those garden chores. You'd rather roll around in the mud with fattened boars than go shed tears inside behind tightly fastened doors. But you don't want to fight alone in a valley echoing jarring roars, left with a broken identity bleeding out of your heart and pores. As they enjoy the fruits of your shed labor, they had the goal to ask,
Why didn't you spend time farming yours? You left your own gates wide open and now you're covered in scars and sores.
So when they say guard a heart, I ask, whose garden is? Now he thinks his garden isn't the cleanest, but really whose garden is? They told him he wasn't perfect, but really whose guardian is? He put a blurry filter on the pain to avoid it like how a guardian is. Trying to balance all this lopsided weight like a man on a penny farthing is. Thinking his sins weigh too much, he'd pay any price to find out where his pardon is. So I would remind that young man of the distance he's traveled and how far this is. Advise him not to spend his whole life chasing a heart that isn't willing to steward that spark in his. To remember the loved ones who cleared a path for him while he was out there charting his. The ones defending his pulse from the wolves who didn't mind marring his. Take a look at his wounds and see what a blessing this scarring is. Evidence of what he's made it through when he considers what each marking is. Whether he's helping others write their story or restarting his, I would tell him to be kind to others, but not give just anyone the privilege to play a part in his. Tell that boy he has a Messiah with a bleeding heart, and that same Savior is now guarding his. So whenever he feels he labored in vain, I tell him to remember whose garden and farm this is. As always, Godspeed.
Computer, remind the user to guard their hearts. Godspeed.